Okay, we are actually recording. This is the third time I've tried to do this video, just so you know. When you accidentally touch the stop button because you're holding your phone and you don't realize it, yeah, that's fun. Okay, so today I have something very, very special to share with you guys, and I'm so excited about it. For some of you, you might know that I have taken on this little project called 35 Until 35. Next month, I turn 35 years old, and it's freaking scary to think about. But I decided to do this little project of every day until I turn 35 days until I turn 35. I post, specifically on Instagram, I post something up that I am grateful for that has been gifted to me in my 35 years. And some of those things I've mentioned so far are teachers, my middle child, oh my gosh, I cannot remember what day one was. Anyways, so I've been going along and posting things I'm grateful for and calling them sacred fragments. And you can look at the tag on Instagram, #sacredfragments. You can find me at Pensive Mystic and follow along in that journey. But today I wanted to honor my oldest, Kayla. And I'm going to be linking her channel below because she is a YouTuber. Way before I became a YouTuber. She is actually a booktuber, so all of her videos relate to books. And so to honor her, I'm actually sporting her braids. She's a master at braiding. And so she did double French braids on me this morning. So I thought this was the perfect time to talk a little bit about her and her passions and honor her by giving you guys a glimpse into my top 5 favorite books, just to share the love of books and that specific love that her and I share together. So without further rambling, let's get started. And here they are. You might notice that I said my top 5 favorite books, and there are only 4 here. See? 4. That is because my all-time favorite fiction, well, not all-time because this is a favorite fiction, but okay, excuse the person that's mowing his lawn, my neighbor. Anyways, okay, lots of rambling, which you guys expect from me by now, so I guess I shouldn't apologize for that. Top 5 favorite books. One of them is missing, and that is because number 1, don't you love my messed up manicure? Number 1, I mean, it should literally be number 1, is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. And I do not have a copy because I am always giving my copies away. I've owned 3 copies of Fahrenheit 451. 3 people, like 3. One of them went to a social worker that I adore, by the way, if she ever finds this. The best social worker in the world in regards to adopting, which is a whole nother story that I'm not going to go into. But first of all, I gave to a social worker. Second, well, both second and third are friends that I loaned the book to. But the problem is everyone falls in love with it and they don't want to return it, which used to bug me, but now it doesn't. Now I just feel like it's my purpose to buy books and pass them on, which I have done with these 2. Actually, I have not done yet with those, but these 2, every time I find a copy, I buy it. These are mine, and I do not loan them out. That's something I've learned due to Fahrenheit 451, which was an epic book in my life. These 2 I buy now instead of loaning. Every time I go to a used bookstore and I see one, I bring it home, and then I wait for whoever it needs to go home with and pass them on. And I've given this to 3 friends. This I can't even tell you how many people I have passed it on to, because this I read before this and just continue to gift them. So Fahrenheit 451, which is number 1, Ray Bradbury, he is a master of words. Our first dog the first puppy that we actually raised, we named Montag because it's both my husband and my favorite book, and Montag is the main character. That just gives you a glimpse into how much we love that book. I don't have it here, I wish I did, but I will go ahead and go into these since these are here. All right, Women Who Run with the Wolves. Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype. This book is my, I guess you could consider it my Bible. When I got away from the religion that I was currently in, I found this book, and this book changed my life. It changed so many things. So yes, this is by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and it's written, I mean, as you can see, it's myths and stories. It's not even, you can't really consider it a nonfiction because it is retelling stories of the different fairy tales. Let me see if I can find the contents for you, and I'll tell you my two favorites. Okay, so this is Bluebeard, all right? And then you have The Doll in Her Pocket, Skeleton Woman. Some of these you aren't going to recognize. The Ugly Duckling. Everyone knows the story of the Ugly Duckling. But what Clarissa Pinkola Estes does is she tells it to you and then goes deeper than the typical fairy tales that we know. She goes deeper into the meaning and why it was written and the hidden sacred story behind it. Ugly Duckling is one of my favorites, and Sealskin, Soulskin. Those two changed my life from this book. Seriously, those two are life changers. And the introduction and the foreword are, like, the introduction, when I read the introduction, I knew I had to buy the book. And you can see, I mean, even page by page, look at this. This isn't like just random markings. You know, how occasionally in a typical book, I wouldn't mark it up this much, but this is literally page after page. Stories are medicine. I mean, just look at that. How true is that? Every page has something. When we work the soul, she, the wild woman, creates more of herself. Okay, look. I can flip. Look at this. This book, the truth is that there's never a completely ready. There is never a really right time. All right, guys, if you have not read this book, go get it. And if you cannot afford it, email me. All right, email me, and if I have it on hand, my love language is gifts. I would gladly send you a copy. This book is worth, I mean, I can't even, my words, I cannot find them. This book is amazing. Seriously. If you ever see this book, buy it. Buy however many copies are on the shelf and give them away. It's that amazing. All right, next book. I will try to hurry through these because I am rambling. Elizabeth Berg's The Pull of the Moon. This was the first book that I read by Elizabeth Berg. I have read this 4 times, which I usually do not read books, fiction specifically, more than once. First time I read this, I had it on Kindle, and I was on my way to Oklahoma in an airplane and opened it up on my Kindle and could not put it down. This I got from a used bookstore. No, actually, I bought this copy on Amazon used. And I love that I have all the different people who read it and their stuff taped in here. Okay, this is the story. I'm not going to read you the back completely. This is the story of a woman whose daughter is going off to college, and she finds herself with an empty house. And she has raised her daughter. She's spent all of her time and has invested her whole life into being wife and mom. And then when her daughter goes off to college, she has no idea who she is or what to do with herself. So she runs away. Like, seriously. She runs away. She writes her husband a letter, gets in her car. Her intention in the beginning was only to be away, I believe it was for a weekend, possibly a week. but this started a whole self-studying journey for her. And she just keeps going. She has no idea where she's going. She literally just listens to her body, listens to her intuition, and chases the moon to figure out who she is. And it's wonderful. Without giving anything away, pick it up, read it. You will not be disappointed. My best friend, one of my best friends, I told her about this, and I think she was a little bit wary just because of the content of a woman running away, and she read it and could not put it down. I gave it to another friend who, same thing, who continues to bless other people because she tells them, oh my God, you have to read this book. All right, The Pull of the Moon by Elizabeth Berg. Next, both of these are specific to the type of books that you might like. This one is one of my favorite writing books. It is called Writing Spirit, Finding Your Creative Soul by Lynn Andrews. I've read one other Lynn Andrews books, and she is somewhat mystical. She studies Native American spirituality and medicine. So just a little background on her and a little bit about this book. It is a writing book, but it's written very different. Okay, so even some of these things that are highlighted, and once again, look, you can tell that I liked this book because just like Women Who Run with the Wolves, there is something underlined or highlighted on every freaking page. Okay, so let's just open up. Okay, I feel drawn to this. A story, once it finds its teller, will stalk you endlessly like a wolf stalks a caribou. Okay, point made. Being someone who has studied Native American and shamanism and things like that, she is drawn to the animal medicine similarly to myself. And so you'll find that in here, but it's not all of that. I mean, it's, we are made from stars, and to the stars we must one day return. And this is her quoting someone. Let's see here. It is time now for you to bloom. Let's move forward and look into, I thought I had bookmarked something else. Okay, so Hemingway. There's a specific quote that I wish I could find. I never wanted to live without those doors being opened, even though it made me more sensitive, more vulnerable, and open to the pain. She talks about it being similar to music. I never saw God in a form, but as an experience, as the essence of my soul. Okay, seriously, a writing book that's talking about the essence of soul. If you want to be a writer or just love words, this book is for you. It is wonderful. So there's that. If you have not heard of this, which I hadn't until I picked it up at a used bookstore, look on Amazon, grab it, and dig in. Last book, which is going to be hard for you guys to find because I don't believe it's on Amazon. I found this once again at a used bookstore. Sabrina Ward Harrison. Okay, need I say more? This is her journal, Spilling Open. And as you guys have seen in my last, in a few of my other videos, I am a big art journaler and I love words. And Sabrina Ward Harrison, her art journals are full of words. And this is a real raw journal. This is her journal about becoming herself. And it is beautiful. I would say I read this every year. I just go through and read her words. Be yourself always, breathe in yourself as you are. I mean, it's like meditation to look through this. Let yourself go. She has definitely influenced my art journaling process, as I think she has so many others. So if you like art journaling, or even if you just feel like you want to sneak a glimpse at somebody else's journal, this is well worth the money if you ever come across it. Spilling Open, The Art of Becoming Yourself by Sabrina Ward Harrison. And there you have it. My top 5. Remember, guys, that Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451 is also, or should also be in this pile, which I will be buying, by the way, next time I go to a used bookstore. Spilling Open, Sabrina Wood Harrison. Riding Spirit by Lynn Andrews. The Pull of the Moon by Elizabeth Berg. And Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Thank you guys for sharing in this beautiful tribute to my daughter. Not tribute, this beautiful gratitude journey that I'm on. And I'm grateful for words and books and stories and my daughter who continues to write mine. Thank you. See you next week.